Okay. Correspondences. Underhill, checking in. Hello, Rhea. How's it going down there? Enjoying the mold so far? Settling back into life at the old FBC? I also wanted to ask how your coffee with Emily went. She's a star on the rise, incredibly bright and extremely intuitive. But I want to hear what you thought of her. I think you two could be very good on a project together, could learn a lot from each other. Let's get together and chat about it soon. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm sure you can't think of anything beside the mold right now. You always were a woman of focus. I always admired that about you. Talk soon, Casper. Balloon. Get well balloon. The item was used in the children's ward of a local hospital in Redacted. Witnesses do not recall where the balloon came from. Therapy dogs, part of a program called Redacted, meant to comfort the sick children, were noticeably attracted to the item. They reportedly jumped at the item, licking it when they could. The children claimed the dogs began walking through the halls of the hospital at night, howling in a low pitch. One child described the sound as singing. A few days later, the dogs were all discovered dead, a dark substance leading from their Redacted. The hospital staff called local authorities, who called the CDC. Bureau agents intercepted this call and arrived at the scene within Redacted hours. The item was taken for evaluation along with the remains of the dogs. See file Redacted numbers for details. Bremen basket. Item to be stored in a black rock paneled cell. Keep away from lab animals when not in use. Altered effect. A simple wicker basket with cloth lining. No food items inside. The item produces a hypnotic effect that solely affects non-human animals, forcing them to congregate passively around the object. Animals from every genus and species that have thus far been tested are susceptible. Single-cell organisms do not appear to react to the effect. 697. Item was taken to a forest upstate for testing. Results of the test provided contradicting data, as some of the attracted animals exhibited hyper-aggressive behavior. The exercise unfortunately resulted in redacted. Further testing should be restricted to more low-risk animal species with medical staff on standby. Agents noticed a transient commonly found outside the entrance of the Bureau headquarters would carry the item and loudly claim to be responsible for the lack of inclement weather. The frequency of these claims attracted the personal interest of Dr. Darling. In interviews disguised as casual conversations, the transient reported that the item gives me clouds when it's hot and sun when it's not. An event of note occurred during a heavy downpour when the vagrant was witnessed performing a possible ritual with the item. See file PAI 1372 for a detailed observation. Dr. Darling reported a wait of redacted seconds before the rain stopped. The vagrant was seized the next day. After redacted, he was found to possess no redacted and was released. The item remains in Bureau custody under suspicion of altered status, though this has not been proven. All known variations of identification formulas have failed to elicit a response from the item. So you want to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper? Here it is. Microscopic organisms, similar in appearance to redacted, construct the architecture of the mold. I do not understand if these redacted are the original disseminators of the mold or are bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I have ever seen. I theorize there is a mold source located somewhere on our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as Mold 1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It propagates in the chest cavity and quickly subsumes the entire body, seizing control of motor functions. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived, which means the mold has adapted to our presence, targeting our biological imperatives as a way to spread. It is a truly ingenious little thing. A full report will be ready soon. Keep your slacks on. Thresholds have always been sources of great inspiration and great challenge. When a new threshold manifests in the oldest house by Redacted, we never know what new discoveries it will provide to the Bureau, but we must always seize these opportunities. This report will examine the process of distinguishing recent threshold effects based on their utilitarian possibilities. Utilitarian? Yeah. The quarry brought black rock, one of our most invaluable discoveries, but if the mold has any scientific value, it has been difficult to find due to the lengths we must go in fighting back the particularly prolific plant. These are very distinct cases and worth comparing as their study offers vastly different dangers and rewards. Refer to file 5941284 for full report. Dr. Darling's recently penned essay titled Redacted contains some glaring omissions I feel I must shine a light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau while the mold is actively hostile, to use his words. We cannot determine the worth of these dimensions and their life forms along using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the Redacted creating the mold were reconfigured in their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of diseases we've attempted to introduce could be derived into Redacted. Yes, admittedly, the application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. Refer to file 235-1863 for full report. Alright, now to go kill it. Ah, dang it.
Is that the source? It's kind of pretty. Oh, not pretty.
Alright. Just charge in. Ignore the mold.
Is that the source? It's kind of pretty. Nope. No.
Ow. Oh, there were these things too. No wonder I was dying. And I do die from the orange vents. Got it. Oof, they got range.
Is that the source?
Ah, it was right next to me the whole time.
Is that
All right,
the
where are you?
source? It's kind of pretty. Nope. No.
Huh. Well, did better than last time at least. Back down into the hole. Eventually this is gonna work. Alternatively, I have the quest for reward of immune to this mold poison, so I can go explore all those other areas that are blocked off by mold. Oop. Ah, right. Using melee killed them without dying. I forgot about that mission. Well, that reset. Might need to upgrade melee. Alright. I think I'm gonna try somewhere else. Oh, that's just a radio. Okay. Alright. There's a lot of mold everywhere, but I don't know where the best place to start would be. Probably logistics. There's a lot of containment I haven't explored. Alright, not here. Okay, someone's getting shot.
Someone needs help over there. I'm here. What happened to you?
I got in a little scrap. Name's Horowitz.
Is he gonna be okay?
Don't look at me like that. I'm fine. But Wells is still in there. You gotta get him out.
Who's Wells?
My squad mate. We were hunting a runaway altered item. We followed it down into the clocks.
The clocks.
A threshold. The Bureau sealed it up years back because of all the clocks. We followed the altered item inside, but the way it was acting, we weren't ready. Me and Wells were the only ones to make it to the motel court. He was right behind me, but he never showed up on this side.
I'll go find him. But first, you need to get to a medic.
Wells is the medic. Please, you gotta get him out of there. I'll be fine, really. Roop can patch me up later.
Fine. But I'll be back for you.
I damn well hope so. Just use the motel cord there. It should get you into the clocks. Sorry, the threshold.
Oh. Missed that. Alright, so it's 12:30 on that clock. Should be 6:05 or so. 11:55 or 10:55, I guess. And what's the first one? $155. Ah, dang it. Gotcha. Good thing it bounced back. Oh, hello there, Key. Thank you very much. Sealed threshold corridor.
This Wells guy can't be far.
Alright, this is the only direction.
Those must be the clocks he was talking about.
I heard a Wells around here somewhere. Or at least I saw the subtitles. Ah, there you are.
Shit.
I think he's dead already.
Are you Wells? Your friend asked me to come looking for you.
That must be Horowitz. Glad he got out. I stayed back to help the others. Did a shit job of it, clearly.
You tried. That's enough. Horowitz needs your help now. How do we get out of here?
We should head back through the threshold. We can look for other survivors as we go.
We better hurry. Which way?
Just follow the blood.
Sounds about right.
Let's go.
Ooh, level 9 keycard.
What's with the clocks?
Threshold effect. This used to be a regular office wing before the threshold manifested. The forces at Blaine there got a hold of someone's old clock and started duplicating it. Now the office is abandoned and its clock's all the way down.
Wow, what a pointless presentation so far. Ah, dang it. Hi.
Let's go.
What's with the clocks?
This clock's all the way down. Alright. Medic, you're up. This guy's on the brink of death. You should probably try and help him. Sheesh. You just ignored that guy dying.
Locked. Think you can find a way around?
Let me see.
Hmm. Not seeing anything on the left. Ah.
So, you came down here for an altered item?
The anchor, yeah. Langston said it'd be a simple item retrieval. But the power of that thing, I've never seen anything like it.
Well, apparently it's a black hole. That happens to be anchored to an anchor. Hey, file.
Thanks. That's O'Neill. Shit. No one else got out.
Looks like I need to hit that shield harder.
Huh. Wait. Are they implying that the threshold is duplicating black holes now? Oh, sorry. Exclusive to charge, of course.
That safe room was where the Altered Item cornered us. We sealed the door on the way out. We couldn't let it get out into the Bureau.
I'll need to come. That's an altered item up there.
You'll run out of clocks eventually.
Wasn't so bad.
Alright. The item should be kept in a locked containment cell. Any prolonged observation of the item should be avoided. The item is a paper lantern known as a chochin. The paper is red with elegant black Japanese characters that translate to ramen. The item has an attractive effect that is both physical and psychological. Nearby objects gravitate toward the item with a minor force of redacted. More notable is its ability to attract sentient organisms with its rich red color and warm comforting glow. Agents arrived in the town of Jasper Crossing, Arizona, after the communications department intercepted multiple phone calls to local authorities regarding frozen people in the streets. 4 of the 5 dispatched agents became paralyzed upon arriving at the scene. Additional assessment teams were dispatched. Variations of identification formulas were tried with ineffectual results. Agents resorted to using aerial photography to study the positioning of the paralyzed individuals. Soon after, agents discovered the event's epicenter to be the local post office. Unaffected agents cleared the area of all paralyzed civilians, animals, and Bureau personnel before beginning to study the item. Agents deemed susceptible to the item were tasked with interviewing and reinforming the public away from the site. The item was soon placed on a transport vehicle manned by unaffected agents. Air travel had been deemed too dangerous given the item's effect. Numerous reports of temporary paralysis were reported by civilians along the truck's route from Arizona to New York City. Refrigerator procedures. Supplement. Interview 11/20/1974. Can you tell us why you left your building that day? I was running out to get eggs. There was that corner store on 30th. That's why I left Michael there on his own. Knew I wouldn't be gone long. He was drawing at the table when I left. Had his crayons out. Happy. The building came down when I was a block away. I ran back, started digging. City workers found Mikey later, beside the fridge. The drawings hadn't come off. Tons of bricks fell on it, and those drawings are still there. How does that happen? You kept the refrigerator after the accident. Why? It still had its drawings. God must have kept them safe for a reason, right? I'd get home from work and stare at them all night. I was in a bad way back then. Why did you sell the fridge with your son's drawings still on it? They'd gotten stuck to it or something. I thought about cutting them off those magnets, but maybe it was better I didn't hold on to them, you know? Gotta move on, everyone says. What's my fridge got to do with the building collapse anyhow? End of relevant portion. Ah, it's B-roll. Got it. Very, very awkward B-roll, but still. Alright. New asset. Remote dot.